My name is Nassime Saps.
Yes, good day, everyone. This is Lori. Thanks for tuning in once again to my frequency. My corner of the ether. So, today we're going to look at George Carlin, the everyman's comedian, right? The comedian for the proletariat man. Yeah, right. We're going to look at the real George Carlin. So first off, let's start out with the thing that sort of put him on the map, the 7 words you can't say, the 7 dirty words that you can't say, that he was quote unquote arrested for. And it made him extra famous after he was arrested, and also made you know that he was a man. Yeah, he's a dirty talker and he's arrested. And and by the way, this picture of him being arrested, I couldn't help but notice his lovely hourglass figure and the Q angle. Look at that beautiful thigh coming in a Y shape. I thought, that is really lovely. He was probably in very good shape on all that testosterone. But then, so this is the picture they show most of the time, and they cut off the feet. Well, guess what? I found one that had the feet included. And I looked down here and went, what? So let's look at George Carlin's feet. George Carlin's feet seems to have 6 toes. One has been cut off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a nasty looking foot. And they put that out there intentionally. This is a promo. This is a shout out to the coming race. Oh my God. George Carlin had 6 toes, and here I am looking at his crotch. There is a crotch watching segment coming up, folks, but the 6 toes beats the crotch watch, okay? 6 freaking toes. Okay, they talked about that in the coming race. They talk about it in the Bible. For those of you who are following the Bible story, the Bible narrative, which is written by them, but partially true. Okay, well, the reason I'm talking about this is because I thought George Carlin was supposed to be like so original and everything. But the guy who came before him in 1964 was Lenny Bruce, and the same freaking thing happened to Lenny Bruce. He gets arrested for his obscenity and branded as sick comic. So this is their pattern, you know. Their pattern is for the comics, for them to be super dirty mouthed and vile, which he is. And I'll talk about that more later, too. But not just because he curses. It's his thinking that's really foul. But, so Lenny Bruce, same thing. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys, right? So that's what they count on. They count on that programming. So anyway, alright, so let's get to the real reason I'm doing this video today. This came to my attention that George Carlin recorded this the day before 9/11, and it was called I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die. They actually pulled it and changed the title to Complaints and Grievances after 9/11 happened. But he basically talks about how he hates humanity and likes it when there's big disasters and people die, people burning, jumping off buildings, babies, everything, fires, destruction. He likes to go to hospitals and look at the dead bodies. In this particular monologue, he talks about a plane blowing up with the fart of Osama bin Laden, that Osama bin Laden is blamed for a fart that blows up an airplane. So it's all here. It's all coded. And they changed the title, but they kept it going.
It's called I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die. And this piece of material is called I Kinda Like It When a Lot of People Die. But you have to realize I'm reading, it's going to lose a lot of the value. I just want to hear the words out loud, okay? Remember when I said earlier I like to stop at traffic accidents and look at the bodies? Well, it's true. I like it. I like any kind of tragedy or disaster, you know? Love fucking disasters and tragedies. People always think I'm kidding, but I'm not. It's true. I love it. All these things. Explosions, fires, plane crashes, train wrecks, cave-ins. I love them all, and the bigger the better. Because I got to tell you, folks, and I hope you're not going to go soft on me here, the truth is, I kind of like it when a lot of people die. You know what I mean? When a whole lot of people get killed. A couple of hundred, couple of thousand, couple of 100,000. I like it. It makes me feel good. And I want you to know I really mean this. It's hard to convince people you really mean something like this. Especially when you're a comedian. They say, well, he's just trying to get laughs. No, not making a joke. I swear to God, I fucking mean it. I mean it with all my heart. I really like it when a lot of people die. I can't help it. It just makes me feel good. The way I look at it, that's the only reason I'm here on Earth. For the entertainment. Philosophers say, why are we here? And I tell them I'm here for the fun. What else could it be? What else? I'm not here to grow crops. I'm not here to build bridges. I'm not here to atone for my sins or help my fellow man. And I'm certainly not here to worry and suffer and sweat. I'm here to see the fucking show. To me, the world is one big theatrical production. A long-running show. A big round ball revolving around a big round sun. Theater in the round. It's all a big show. And when you're born, they give you a free ticket. And I say, bring on the show. Enjoy the entertainment. Enjoy it now. There's no second show. Especially the big disasters. And that's what I like the most. Big natural disasters. Doesn't matter what it is either. Tornado, hurricane, earthquake, blizzard, typhoon, sandstorm, cave-in, volcano, heat wave, cold wave, tidal wave, monsoon, flood, drought, forest fire, mudslide, avalanche, epidemic, pandemic, famine, plague. Shit, you know something? I'll even settle for some food poisoning at a church picnic. I don't care. It doesn't fucking matter as long as a lot of people die. And those are just the natural disasters, the things that we can't prevent. I also like the man-made disasters, the things we cause. Riots, revolutions, terrorism, slaughter, massacres, atrocities, assassinations, mass suicide, self-mutilation, dismemberment, explosions, crashes, train wrecks, arson, chemical spills, nuclear meltdowns, war crimes, genocide, crimes against humanity, crimes against nature. You know something? I'll even settle for a runaway merry-go-round. Trying to find a sale so you can use your credit card and get some extra mileage points so you can get a cheap flight to Cancun with all the other people who aren't having any fucking fun. And get ripped off and sunburned and drink too much so you can throw up in the airport just before you get back on the plane. Building up mileage points again and continue not having any fun. Folks, you gotta have fun. That's why I like it when a lot of people die. That's why I like big disasters. And no matter what the original disaster is, I always hope that at least the complications that are worse than the original problem. Worse and worse and worse. Like if a huge 72-inch water main ruptures in the downtown section of a city and water rushes through the streets and basements causing power failures that knock out all the traffic lights and a monstrous traffic jam ties up the entire city and emergency vehicles can't get through and sick people begin to die, and the people who aren't sick begin to panic and try to escape the city, and a lot of them get trampled to death. And at the same time, one of those month-long global warming heat waves comes along and starts killing old people and babies, and there's still no electrical power for air conditioning and no water for sanitation, so contagious diseases begin to break out, like cholera and typhus and dysentery, and all the old people and babies become infected and start to die, and the infected people become deranged and demented, and they start storming the hospitals demanding medicines, and the hospitals can't handle the casualties, so the sick and infected people start rioting and looting and burning their clothing in the street, and the flames drive them crazy, and they start killing people and lighting hundreds of buildings on fire, and since there's no water, the entire city begins to burn, and the natural gas lines start exploding, and the people who aren't sick yet get angry and start shooting the sick people, and hanging them from lampposts and looting homes and stores, and fornicating and defecating in the streets. Some of them actually butt-fucking on the steps of City Hall. And then Then, as the whole city burns out of control, huge sparks are carried away by the wind, and the suburbs and countryside catch fire. And the wind ignites huge brush fires several counties wide that come together into one big fire and spread to the forest, and the forests burn out of control, developing into a huge firestorm traveling 200 miles an hour, consuming everything in its path as the western United States burns completely out of control, creating a coast-to-coast smoke cloud that chokes millions of animals and old people. And the prevailing winds push the fire farther and farther east, igniting the central plains where the prairies and grasslands catch fire and burn uncontrollably. And then, pushed by the violent winds, the grass fires leap the Mississippi River, enveloping the eastern forest, and a huge thermal updraft develops that's sucked up into the jet stream, causing a hemispheric incendiary macro system, a mega firestorm that begins to rapidly alter the molecular structure of the magnetosphere. South poles suddenly reverse, and huge sparks and thunderbolts start shooting out of the poles, and the ozone layer catches fire, which combined with El Nino rapidly raises the temperature of the oceans, completely changing the global climate, and all the ice caps and glaciers melt in less than 2 weeks, raising the level of the oceans by 300 feet, and flooding all the coastal places and low-lying regions, completely fucking up places like San Diego. And a lot of people died. Wouldn't that be cool?
And then it became, I think, an HBO special, and now, of course, Amazon. All the smut that for the scumbags that like to pat themselves on the back. Again, if you listen to this stuff or watch Man in the High Castle, just keep telling yourself this is fiction, it won't happen. Say it aloud, repeat it, cancel it, because the whole overpopulation question is not about too many people. It's about too many thoughts interfering with their agenda. There's the young couple that, according to the daughter in her book, fought constantly and were big drug addicts, just constantly on drugs. And he was never home. She said she was left alone a lot. This boy. Straight shoulders, big wide neck, big head, big sloping back forehead with a high hairline. So here we got the pedo picture, eating bananas, mother and son. Maybe he's saying, yes, I have no bananas. Look at the face of this poor kid. That's a sad kid. Look, pulling up his, they had him do that in this picture. Why would he be doing that? Pulling up his nightgown and eating a banana. Scumbags.
Alright, they show you all these things. It's raining men. They show this guy pushing the button, blowing up the Twin Towers. They show you the Simpsons, 9/11, Back to the Future. They show you that, you know, that guy that's Trump and his Trump Tower, and then he ends up dying, and then martial law, and then he's going to build a wall, and all this. It's all written in old black and white movies, and cartoons, commercials, Donald Trump and the 9/11, the two sheep standing on two pillars inside of his commercial where he sells his bedspreads, you know, and the two sheep, they have 9/11, the first one and then the one in the back with the 11, showing that he knew all about it before it happened.
What do you think of my Trump home mattress collection, sir? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
And what do we have here? We have two sheep, labeled 9 and 11, standing upon two pillars.
Welcome to room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Trump, talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers. Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, one day we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number 1, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy economy and a new crisis.
Burns out of control. Huge sparks are carried away by the wind, and the suburbs and countryside catch fire. And the wind ignites huge brush fires several counties wide that come together into one big fire and spread to the forest. And the forest burn out of control, developing into a huge firestorm traveling 200 miles an hour, consuming everything in its path.